Morning, Facebook. Just want to say hello, coming from Rhythmia Life Advancement Center, beautiful downtown Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And it is a beauty of a day again, a beautiful day. And the seasons here are so pronounced, and we are in our lush season, and it is beautiful. Each season here has its own beauty, the summer and what I call the winter. And the summer is super, super dry and brown, and it has its own beauty, but this is the lush time. It's gorgeous. So if you're around, it's a great time to be here. We've had tremendous weeks with tremendous growth and a ton of new things in motion. We're talking about a lot of things. This is Blessed by Design 5. A little bit about Rhythmia. Rhythmia is a life advancement center located in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. It is a center that uses plant medicine, meditation, yoga, breath work, farm-to-table organic food, cleanses, and brings this whole metaphysical teachings and brings this all together under one theory. And that theory is called a soul merger or a soul reclamation. And the contrast in people's lives once they have this happen is amazing. People from all over the world come here to experience this. About 12,700 people have been through the doors so far. 95.75 as of this morning state that they have had a life-changing miracle during their stay. At the 6-month mark, 91.88% of the people that have been here say that this was the week that changed their life. So it's really amazing stuff. Now, every week I talk about different things. Sometimes I repeat something, and I usually do that if I get more than 20 emails about a particular thing that I said. So I have to go back a little bit and do this today. This is called Blessed by Design. In our last series of Let's Go, we looked at all of the data that was out there on success and manifestation, and we talked about how to use that data in our own lives. We learned a lot. And Blessed by Design, we're going to set up our lives so that it achieves this thing that we want. Yeah. Now, one thing that came up, I'm going to lead into this. I'm going to go around away. But one of the requests I've had a lot of lately from ayahuasca folks, a lot of them haven't been here. And there was this ayahuasca group, and the group was talking about why the ayahuasca told them something was going to happen, and it never happened. So and then in this group, maybe a couple hundred people commented and said something similar. Now at Rhythmia, with our past guests, we have a super, super high rate of what ayahuasca said and then what happened in people's lives. Why? So this is how I'm going to start this. It is my personal belief that people who are good at manifesting come to Rhythmia. People who are good at manifesting or have the ability to manifest or are expansive enough around how they look at things that they can adapt to a new life of manifestation are what we draw. That's why the plant medicine is so often right here. I want to tell you in my own life, it has never been wrong. Why do I say that? And why do I believe these things? So this is my belief in this. My belief is this, is that ayahuasca will tell you all of your possibilities. So it can show you your destiny. But you determine your fate. So when I do run across someone that says, "Oh, ayahuasca told them this and never happened," the first thing I ask them is, "What did you do? Where did you meet it?" In other words, if ayahuasca told me that Rhythmia is going to be the #1 plant medicine center in the world, what have I done to meet it? Well, I've worked hard, I've invested money, I've done something to meet it. Now, everything that the medicine tells you about your ultimate potential is true. You're a piece of stardust. You're a piece of the universe. You have the potential to become anything. When she tells you something that's specific to you, she sees something in you and knows that you have this tailored destiny that could be yours if you participate. If you don't participate, ain't nothing going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. There is no way that you can sit at home or marginally try and have this happen, what she says, because she issues big promises, right? So in order to effectuate them, we have to participate on the highest level. And we're going to talk about some of that stuff in a minute here. So a lot of people, so I want to talk about that. So hard work and grit are two of the things that keep coming up from her all the time. Hard work and grit. Participating in the universe so that you feel this feeling of mastery. The feeling of mastery doesn't happen immediately. The feeling of mastery is a long, hard road. I don't know if you've ever watched in nature, but if you ever saw salmon spawning, you'll know what the nature of life is. The nature of life is to give all of your sustenance by the time you die. All of it. It's not to conserve it. It's not to be miserly with it. It's to explode it, to live it, to give it. And if you can fall in love with the explosion, the living and the giving, then all of a sudden you're in this zone. In this zone feels like mastery as you get better and better at this thing that you've chosen it with your heart. Now, when the guys from Apple talk about this thing, they kind of miss it. They said that the biggest lie, I forget the current CEO's name, but he said the biggest lie that he's seen in life is that you have to do what makes your heart happy. And he said, but he's found that to be untrue. Well, this is it, dude. I have to do what makes my heart happy. And for him, he's missing it. Being the CEO of Apple is what makes his heart happy. Having to do what the CEO does is hard and unhappy and a lot of those things, right? So we got to package this in the right way. My creation of rhythmia is what makes my heart happy. But the day-to-day of it, there's at least 50% of the day that I very much dislike. I don't like accounting. I don't like administration. I don't like a lot of the things that I have to do. I like this, and I like drinking plant medicine, right? But a lot of what goes into this is something that does not make my heart sing, but it's a necessary part of getting the bigger vision that moves my heart done. Kind of like, I don't know, liking a particular dish, but not liking the smell of cooking onions. There's parts of it that you don't like to get where you got to go. Not every inch of this is joy and bliss. It's not. And this is where we get into this thing of our agreements, right? Because without agreements with ourselves, we're going to not do it. We're not going to do it. We're going to wake up one day and say, it's more important how I feel than my agreement. It's more important that it's rainy out than my agreement. It's more important that I lay in bed than it is I get up and work out based, So the thing is, our agreements are the thing that makes this all happen. Now, in the end, right? In the end. And when I say in the end, in our 10-year cycle, in our 10-year cycle, in the end. So whether that's making a particular amount of money or buying something or creating something or whatever, in the end, when it's all happening. So what do I mean by that? Well, this one time I built a company and I sold the company for $90 million. In that process, in the end, was this anticlimactic event that that happened and then even made it worse. It separated me from the company that I loved. So in the end, you have this climatic event that you think you've been working for, but the real thing has been in the process of building it and honoring our agreements. And what's so crazy is when we honor these agreements with ourselves, these agreements that aren't easy, the agreements to cook the onions, the agreements to do the administration when we want to be doing something else, to for our overall purpose. When we honor these agreements, we meet other people who appreciate that honoring of that agreements. And what you have thousands of people who love you and very few who don't, because this thing is going on. And you're enlisting them and you're honoring yourself and honoring your agreements. And then what happens when that happens, when you know exactly where you're supposed to be, you know exactly what you're going, then your yeses and nos are very quick. And there's many more no's than there are yeses. So imagine if you're a young person and you're super attractive and many people want to make love to you, want to have sex with you, but you committed to someone that you're with them. You're going to say no to many people and yes to only one. This is the nature of it. This is what these contracts are about. Now, most of what people present you with deserves a no, because it's going to take you off your path. It might be a great dalliance, it might be a great rest or a break, but it's going to take you off your path. And what we've learned is, in order to succeed at these things, you have to be on point and on your path a lot. Now, there are a lot of charlatans that are selling the easy way to get there, but there is no easy way. It's a great story. Money for nothing and chicks for free. It's a great story. It sells records, right? But it's not true. It's absolutely not true. That there's a quid pro quo with the universe. You give and you get. It's this thing, and once you buy off on that. So listen, all of the pain that I've ever experienced in my life was when I deviated from the fact that there's hard work involved. And I tried to find an easy way, and I spent time finding an easy way. And then that looking for that easy way created pain, heartbreak, disaster, financial interruptions, always, always. So once the bullet is bitten, once you bite the bullet, and what I mean by biting the bullet is that it's going to be hard, it's going to take long. I know exactly where I'm going and what I want to do there. That's the bit in the bullet. And now I make my agreements with myself and with others so that I get there. And then I fall in love with the process of honoring my agreements to myself. And I do the hardest things first in the day and the easiest things last. Then all of a sudden I'm in this thing. And that thing, it's never going to sell books. It's never going to excite people because it's hard. It's giving of the sustenance. Now, most people spend all of their time trying to look for a way to make it easy in all things. Like I call it Sammy and Sally shortcut. They want a quick way out of it, and there is no quick way. If you ever see it happen, it can happen statistically. You see someone write their first song and it's a hit. You never hear from them again because they turn into one-hit wonders, right? Because the back work wasn't there to carry that load. Yes? So if you watch this, now I do want to say something else because I got comments on this last week. When I talked about many more no's than yeses, and I said how quick my decisions are. So the decision is quick because it doesn't need analyzation. What may need analyzation is the details of the offer. If somebody says, hey, I'm going to pick you up tomorrow at 3, and what type of a car, where are we going, you want to get the information, but you know automatically if that fits with where you're going. And I'm going to tell you something, that a lot of times in our people-pleasing mode, we will deviate from where we want to go to make someone happy half heartedly, and we end up hurting both of us. Don't be that person. Be firm in your convictions. Like that's part of the PC movement, is to say yes to people and not mean it to avoid hurting their feelings. That is not helping that person. And it's certainly not helping you, right? So that having this firmness of conviction in this, and the universe can tell when we are adjusted to this way of being, because other things fold to us. There's some plants out there that if you put your hand next to them, they back up. If you've ever seen that, if you've ever seen it. So we are vibratory, and all things are tuned into the frequency of others. And when I'm sure, and I mean sure, of where I'm going, others bend. Not only do they bend, you create this motion, and others even come and help and push. So a lot of this is vibratory. A lot of it is just elbow grease and work, right? So for the people that are selling these easy manifestation and don't work, and if you really research them, they don't have anything. They're probably having trouble making rent, right? But the folks that amassed assets or created a business, and the business has teeth and grit and is really there, have all given of their sustenance to get that. Now, the good news is this, is that when we give of our energy to do that, we're given more energy. The amount of energy that you can expend is limitless over time. The only thing that limits it is time in the short term. In other words, if I lift 500 pounds once, or let's not get carried away. If I lift 100 pounds 10 times in a minute, and then I lift it another 10 times, another 10 times, another 10 times, pretty soon I'm not going to be able to lift it, right? Because I'm going to be expended out of energy in that moment. But with a little bit of rest, I'm given all of that energy back to do it again. Matter of fact, I'm given more. So this is the thing. People walk around thinking that their love and their energy is finite. And if you look at it that way, you're screwing yourself, because the whole thing is to give it, re-give it, re-give it, re-give it, re-give it, re-give it, rest, give it more, give it more, give it more. That is how to get there. Now, am I advocating for all work and no play? No, I'm not. What I'm advocating for is narrowing that way down to what do I mean by that? By to having just a small number of things I'm focused on. The more focused you can become, the better you can become. All of the people, the fighter pilots, the great business people, the artists, had the ability to focus things down to nothing. In other words, to the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. Imagine 5 and 10 rabbits chasing at one time. This is a game of really, really being selective. How can I be selective? By being contemplative, by spending time and realizing what it is for me. If you walk through life without purpose, then someone else's thing becomes yours. You have to have your own. And you have to start before you're ready. If you ever wait till you're ready, you'll die without ever starting. Die, right? If you're constantly trying to do what you like to do and what feels good, you're never going to win, ever. You can only win by agreement. You can only win by agreement, and this is the absolute truth, and that is from my heart. So my goal in this with you and today is understanding that there is no shortcut, there is no place to rest, there is no easy way, and getting past that. They say the greatest joy in the world is having a child, but for a female, that act in and of itself is horrific. Right? So there is no one without the other. There is no one without the other. So when you get past that and you can stop yourself and say, wait, hold the phone. I'm 38 years old and I've been looking for an easy way for for 18 years since I started this work or whatever. I'm done with looking for an easy way. Show me the hard way. Show me the 10-year way and let me get there, because 10 years is coming whether I like it or not. That's what we're looking for. And then from that place, picking how you want to be a beneficial presence, because in my mind, Michael Jordan was a beneficial presence on the planet. He gave me such entertainment watching him. The great musicians are beneficial presence on the planet. The great actors, the great artists are the great businessmen, they're business people. They're all been the great mothers, the great fathers, are all beneficial presence. The great healers, they're all beneficial presences on the planet, and you are too. So get to your thing and quit looking for the easy way, because it doesn't exist. All right, have a beautiful, blessed, sacred week, and we'll talk to you next week.